Welcome to another episode from Zach Meglin Collectibles. Usually we're ripping and reviewing the latest sports cards and notable collectibles, but today we are going to pivot. We have our premiere episode of what I like to call a blast from the past. Today we're going to find out whether or not we have a treasure trove in this box. Stay tuned and find out. Good day, YouTube. Thank you for joining us here once again at Zach Meglin Collectibles. Today is our premiere episode of what I'm going to call a blast from the past. So every now and again, we're going to look back at some of our collections that we put together during our childhood. All right, so this is the reason why we started collecting to begin with. It wasn't to make money necessarily. It was to rip packs open and collect certain teams and certain cards. And as you can see, while I was going through my closet, I found a box called Special Sets. This was put together, I want to say, in the 80s. Okay, so a lot of junk wax here. But hey, I haven't opened this since then. So I said, hey, why not do it together here on the channel? So let's do just that. Now, of course, back in our time, we didn't have the fancy boxes to keep things in. We had to improvise and make do, right? In a sense, this is sort of a fancier shoe box, right? It's Mason shoes. I don't ever remember even wearing this. Probably it was a box that I found here. You can see some stickers here of some teams. But that's what we used to do. We used to put things in different boxes. We made do. So let's see what we got. Let's see what we have, a treasure trove here. All right, so here we go. So you can see that we've got some team sets that I guess that were put together. But today I'm going to focus more on these long but gone sets here. We're going to go through a few of those, and we're going to take the time to do that. Join me on this journey. Tell me what you think, guys. So the thing that stands out right now is I see this little pack right here. Back in the 80s, the team, all right, the dream team, if you want to call it, were the Oakland A's. All right, I believe this set was from Upper Deck, one of the first cards from Upper Deck. And these cards look like they've been preserved decently, all right? Wouldn't necessarily grade them as PSA 10s, but let's go through them, all right? During that time in the 80s, Jose Canseco was the man. So this was the team. They had a team of all-stars, all right? Don Baylor was a star in his own right, but he was an aging star at that time. Of course, Jose Canseco was the man. Storm Davis. All right, Dennis Eckersley, former starter, converted to top reliever. I believe he was a starter with the Chicago Cubs back in the day. And as he aged out, he turned into a reliever, and he was like one of the best in the game. All right, Mike Gallego. We're going old school here, guys. Ron Hassey, the catcher. Dave Henderson. He broke our hearts, at least the Angels' hearts, back in '86 when he was playing for the Red Sox, and he hit that game, I wouldn't say, not game, I guess you could call it the game-winning home run when the Angels were one strike away. Rick Honeycutt, who also, as you know, is a Dodger. Glenn Hubbard. Stan Javier, Doug Jen. If you recognize any of these guys, let me know, okay? Carney Lansford, he used to play for the Red Sox back in the day. He was at second base. All right, Orlando. I don't see any Mark McGuire's or Dave Parker, who played for the Pirates for many years. Look at that. Tony Phillips, former Detroit Tiger, right? Eric Plunk. Luis Polonia, he played for the Angels. I don't see McGuire. So Steinbeck was the all-star catcher. Dave Stewart, former Dodger, Texas Ranger, was their top pitcher. Walt Weiss was their top rookie at shortstop. Bob Welch, former Dodger as well. No McGuire here, Kurt Young. So there you go. Pretty cool set, a lot of Canseco. And like I said, this was put together because back in the day, we weren't buying sets. We were building sets, okay? Not too many people do that. It's a rare breed to do that nowadays. So you could see, I mean, we're going back here. This is probably like, what, early 80s, all right? You got Minnesota Twins. They were winning championships during that time. We're not going to go through those today, okay? But these are the sets that I put together. So let's go through some box sets. So these ones we bought, okay? So, all right. Toys R Us. KB Toys. All right? Those are some memories there, okay? So many of you, of course, are familiar with Toys R Us, okay? But many of you are not familiar with KB Toys, okay? So they sold these little packs here, or these boxes. And like I said, it's been many, many years since I've gone through these, okay? So let's go through them now. All right, so let's go through this one. So Toys R Us, many of you were Toys R Us kids. Some of you have seen the downfall of Toys R Us. It's making a comeback. But this was the premier store if you needed toys, all right? So this one here is a 1990 set, a complete set of 33 super gloss photo cards of baseball rookies. So this is the, oh look, it was $1.99. Where are you gonna find little sets for $1.99? Okay, so there you go. That's the reason we got it. And we are some rookies from 1990. All right, so let's see if we preserve these pretty good. Let's open that up. So it's cool to go back in time. All right, imagine $1.99. What, you can't find anything for $1.99. Even a pack of a retail pack, you can't find that for that price. So let's see what we got for $1.99 back in the day. All right, so these they look pretty good still, right? Look at that. We have but the photos look a little aged. Okay, a Jim Abbott, who was the one-handed pitcher. He ended up pitching a no-hitter when he was with the Yankees, right? So this was their rookie year. All right, this is in order. You can see right there. Eric Anthony, Joey Bell, a.k.a. Albert Bell, Andy Benes. There you go. I think he played on the Olympic team as well. Greg Briley, Kevin Brown, former Dodger as well. Mark Carrion. Look at this. Mike Devereaux. Junior Felix. Wow. Okay. Mark Gardner. Any of these guys ring a bell? Let me know. All right. Bob Guerin. So these are all rookies. So they were in 1990. They were all rookies. Tom, a.k.a. Flash Gordon. Ooh, there you go. Look at that. That is a card right there, sir. Ken Griffey. Should I sleeve this up? Probably, right? Let's do that. All right, let's do that. Ken Griffey. Okay. There you go. Ken Griffey. Pete Harnish. Ken Hill. Greg Jeffries. I remember him when the Mets were good. Lilliquist. Carlos Martinez. Ramon Martinez, brother of Pedro Martinez. Bob Malacky. See, so you could see who's panned out and who didn't, right? Kenny Rogers. Alex Sanchez. All rook. Gary Sheffield, former Dodger as well. Former Marlin. Dwight Smith. Billy Spires. Look at that. Greg Vaughn. He played well in his day. Robin Ventura, the dude that got in a fight with an aging Nolan Ryan. I think Nolan Ryan was in his 40s when they duked it out on the mound when Ventura was with the White Sox. Dave West. John Wetland, reliever for the Dodgers. Craig Worthington and Todd Zeile. He played with the Dodgers and the Mets. So these, you could see everything here is in alphabetical order. All right, so there you go. That is for $1.99. We got a Ken Griffey Jr. So maybe that Ken Griffey Jr. I would think's worth more than $1.99, right? At this point. So, we got our money's back if we were able to do that. But of course, it'd be better to sort of, if I were to go ahead and pass this on or sell this, it'd be nice to do it as a set, right? as a complete set. All right, so that is Baseball Rookies 1990. All right, so I want you to tell me in the comments section, I guess, because we're just going to limit to these other 2 boxes here. And then we've got more time in the future. We're going to go through these. So, it's a nice little fun way to go back in time. So, and that's what started us in the whole card collecting business to begin with, right? I wouldn't say business, but the card collecting hobby, all right, was just to go ahead and collect your favorite players and favorite teams. All right, so we have another one. This one is another Super Gloss, a complete set. $1.99 once again. I don't know what year this is, but we're about to find out. It doesn't say the year on this one. This might be an actually earlier year, okay? So you tell me has the better rookie class. All right, so you could see right here, these cards as well. This one has a little bit more clearer images. All right, we got Andy Allenson, Paul Ossenmacher, Scott Bales. So this is how the card looks like in the back, by the way. Oh, there you go, Barry Bonds. Oh, look, there you go. There you go. Let us leave this up. All right. Do you have a Toys R Us Barry Bonds? It's like we're opening packs, huh? When we're sleeving them up, it's as if we're opening brand new packs, but old school. Jose Canseco, look at that. All right, so this is what, 1986, I believe? Is that what we got here? It is, yes, this is the class of 86, okay? So these are 86 rookies, because this had a good class too. Will Clark, Will the Thrill, Cal Daniels, okay? I think he may have played for the Dodgers as well. Jim DeShields. So this is going even further back, but I think these images look a little bit clearer than the other ones. All right. Pete Incaviglia, I remember him. He was like home run or bust. Look at that, Bo Jackson. It's got a little bit of a thing at the bottom, but a Bo Jackson. He was part of that rookie class. Wally Joyner, Wally World for the Angels at the time. All right, there you go. John Kruk, he had a long career. I think he went on to, what, Atlanta, if I'm not mistaken? Was it Atlanta? Or was it the Phillies? It might have been the Phillies. Barry Larkin, All-Star, Hall of Fame as well. Shortstop. Looky there. Kevin Mitchell. He's known for that one-handed grab in the outfield back in the day. Dan Plesac, a reliever. Ruben Sierra, home run guy. I think he had a card where, I don't know if it was his rookie, but I think they had like the cards like flipped or inverted, and it was like an error card that was big, I remember back in the day. Corey Snyder, he was a home run hitter. Looky there. Even Dale Sveum, he was one. Danny Tartabull was a home run hitter. Didn't really last that long. So once again, alphabetical order of this one. So this is 1986. I think this is Mitch Wild Thing Williams. Remember him? I think he was Philadelphia a little while. Todd Worrell was a big stud reliever as well. So this is the class of 86. So class of 86, you saw that one. All right. Tell me if, in the end, in the comments, I want you to tell me who you think won this box battle reveal. We'll call it that, okay? Of the Toy Store, you want to call it the Toy Store edition or boxes, okay? All right, so I don't know if this is going to hold, but anyways. Finally, KB Toys. Not too many people know about KB Toys, but this was the competition to Toys R Us. Definitely not the giant of Toys R Us. Toys R Us had their own stores. They're huge, right? You could still see the remnants of some of these stores. I know here in Southern California, a lot of them still remain abandoned. Even in my local area, the store that used to house Toys R Us I believe they haven't found a new tenant, and it's been 10 years since they closed, and I believe they're being rented out by what is that? The costume place, right? The Halloween costume place seasonally. And of course, then they go away. So this one here is another 33 super gloss photo cards, but this one is coming from KB. So Topps made them for both Toys R Us and KB. Now this is a different year. I think this is even older, okay? Looky here. So these are superstars. So these are not rookies, okay? The other ones were rookies. These are superstars. Let me know if you recognize any of them. Hall of Famer Harold Baines, Jesse Barfield. There's Don Baylor, right? Like I said, when he was the Red. Wade Boggs, he was the man. George Brett, one of my favorite players back in the day. Hubie Brooks. Jose Canseco. So this has got to be, I guess this is 1987 because it's got 86 stats. This is 1987 produced cards. Gary Carter. Joe Carter, who ended the World Series with the Blue Jays with that home run. Roger Clemens. So you have more established stars that you see here. Vince Coleman. It was Ricky Henderson, of course. He's the top guy, but Vince Coleman would also steal a whole mess of bases during that time. But the only thing with Vince Coleman, that's all he could do. He couldn't really hit, but Ricky Henderson could hit as well as steal bases. Glenn Davis, first base. Dwight Gooden, Dr. K. There you go. Pedro Guerrero, former Dodger. Then he got traded for John Tudor. All right, I believe that was the 87 year, or 88, all right. Tony Gwynn. There, speak of the devil, Ricky Henderson. Keith Hernandez. He's on Seinfeld, right? There's Wally World. Don Mattingly, all right? Donnie Ballgame right there. He was the man back in his day. Jack Morris. He also pitched, I believe, with Minnesota when they won the World Series. Dale Murphy. I don't know. Did Dale make the Hall? I know he was like one of the better players during his day. I think he lacked longevity. That's why he's sort of on the fence. But Dale Murphy, Eddie Murray, former Dodger as well in his later years. There's Dave Parker, Kirby Puckett, who I believe made the Hall, and he went blind or something, and eventually passed away. So at a very young age, Kirby Puckett, Rock Rain, Tim Raines, aka Rock Raines. He changed his name to Rock Raines. Jim Rice, he made the Hall. He had questionable stats at that time. Dave Righetti. Rhino, Ryan Sandberg, rest in peace. He passed away late last year. There he is, Michael Jack Schmidt. All right, there he is, best third baseman in his day. Mike Scott, known for his, not the knuckle, split finger, I believe, right? There's Darryl Strawberry, former Dodger, former Yankee as well. Fernando Valenzuela, we know him, Fernando Mania, and Dave Winfield. Look at there. So, you saw 3 boxes that we opened up today, guys, on our premiere episode from Blast from the Past. We had a little box battle, and that was between the different toy stores, okay? KB Toy Store, as well as Toys R Us. All right, KB Toy Stores, you would find them in the malls, okay? Toys R Us, no, they were too huge to find them in the malls. But tell me, who won this box battle, okay? This will qualify for our giveaway, which will not be an old product. It will be a newer product. But it was nice to go, back in the past, a little blast from the past. We're not going to be doing this every week, but every now and again, we're going to do that. We're going to look through some of our old cards and share our little treasure trove with you guys. So tell me what you think in the comments. Who won this little old school box battle today? Thank you for viewing and joining us. Thank you for supporting us here at Zach Magellan Collectibles. Until next time.